No. I feel very threatened by this giant elephant.
I believe in you! No! Yeah. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone! After a bit of a hiatus, we are back with Arkosaurs Evolved. We are your hosts. I am Doc Dino, a paleontologist doing field work out in Wyoming. Yes, even in the middle of winter. To my right is... Other side.
Other way. I am Gojira. I am a master's student at the University of Bristol. And last but not least is...
I'm Cold.
Well, hello, Cold.
Hello.
You need to change your name.
And Dominic. Hi, I'm Dominic Peary. I, at some point, was a intern at Harvard Museum of Comparative Zoology in their prep lab. Maybe in the future. I'm waiting for responses. I also might be a volunteer out in Wyoming to help magical people do magical things.
Which, unfortunately, we can't say a lot about in this particular episode. So that might
we can't say anything. So we have all, when we first started this, we were all very lucky that we were not very far into anything. I was the only one who really couldn't say much. We are now at the point where all of us can't say what we're doing, as we either will spoil our own research, someone else's research, or museum secrets in the case of Gojira's thing.
Yes, tis the curse of knowledge, I believe.
Yeah, you could say that. So, especially.
But at any rate, altogether we are
the Boneheads.
Boneheads. And that is the first time we have said that in
a month and a half,
I think.
A month and a half, 2 months, yeah. Hopefully this, we should be getting a few videos out over the next few weeks. We're trying to do a batch recording on the day we're recording this. Hopefully. The other thing is that, I don't think anything important.
I do have a bit of news.
Ooh.
People who watch our videos rather than just listen in, which, to be fair, if you just listen, I don't blame you, might notice that my background is different.
Yeah.
I have moved into an apartment.
He actually lives somewhere.
He lives somewhere.
For anyone who isn't aware, for the last 6 months, I've been living out of a hotel room. No, it has not been fun. But I finally have my own apartment because I'm going to be here for a while.
Yeah.
I have found some things. Some that I can talk about, some that I can't. And I have to be here to help excavate those things.
And I might be joining him at some point in time.
Potentially. We're still waiting to see on a few things.
Yes. I'm going to spoil something, kind of. There might be a month where either one, you get no content, or two, me and Doc are on the same camera. I'm not going to say which month that is, but a month that, or you just might not get me. We'll see.
We'll just have to see.
We'll have to cope.
And Seethe.
And Marsh.
God damn it. I'll be with you two in spirit then.
Yes.
Well, hey, if it's during the summer, then if you have summers off.
Well, given certain circumstances, guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, at any rate, today we have a very special creature to show all of you. It has been, well, how would you describe this monster if you had to?
Very high-spined.
General Sherman from the Civil War.
So you would call it the Terror of the South?
I would call it that. Yeah. How did you know?
Because we both watch the same podcast.
Yeah, that's true. Anyways,
so today, we are talking about Acrocanthosaurus. Oh, hello.
I think he might want to say something to you. Yes.
The high-spined lizard, as has already been alluded to. So, name pop-up here.
Also, actually, if you haven't noticed, Ark isn't lagging, and it doesn't look like garbage. Doc has functioning internet.
I mean, probably not gonna look great. Don't jinx it. We'll see.
It looks better than it did before, at least from our end.
Oh, that's good to hear. My internet is better here. I will say that. As a palm tree pops in and out of existence.
I'm sure that's irrelevant.
But anyway, today's topic is, as we've said, Acrocanthosaurus. A very, very large theropod dinosaur from the early Cretaceous of North America.
Yes.
Mostly.
Yeah.
And for a bit of size comparison, do either of you remember how... Oh, well, they're killing everything. Good. Oh, no, one's about to die. Shit. Well, we might lose an acro.
Okay, guys,
Ethereum.
this is definitely a thing that happened in real life. These two creatures that are separated by over... How... Dinotherium's like 5 million years old, right?
20 to like 3, I think.
Yeah.
It's actually a very long-lived species or genus. I can talk.
Yeah.
So this acro just keeps shoulder checking.
Yeah, but yes. Anyways, God. Those actually might be.
I might need to step in here to save this acro. Oh, all the numbers. Okay.
I forgot how good Dinotherium is.
Can I run game?
No. You might need to summon the other acros. No, you must collect berries instead.
I don't know. This is an honorable duel. He must fight this alone.
He's losing.
He will die with honor then.
Oh, wait.
I think the Dinotherium's running. Or not.
Nope.
Oh, come on!
I believe in you! No!
He died of
That
warriors.
was one of the better looking ones, too. Oh, man.
Well, anyways, with all that excitement, yes, this Acrocanthosaurus.
Oh, well, and we have an egg with some poop on it. Lovely.
Perfect. As Doc said.
I was just trying to get a size comparison shot.
Oh.
Hello, sir.
Please don't be aggressive.
This one's only level 12.
I don't think they're aggressive anyways. Yes.
This is a little big, but Acrocanthosaurus itself is very large.
One of the largest carnivorous dinosaurs to ever walk the earth.
Yes.
Well, at least it's in a family of them. No. I feel very threatened by this giant elephant.
I would feel threatened by. Have you seen Paleolopsidon?
Yes.
I think I'm just gonna. Come on.
Sorry.
Okay, it's distracted, so come on.
This gives me Chimere
Okay,
vibes.
Jesus.
But yes.
This reminds me of Chimere. Like having giant theropods fight elephants.
Chimere is so cool. I love Chimere.
Chimere is awesome.
And into the ground. But
And
yeah.
into the ground.
This.
Right, we'll probably have a cut there because we just kind of rambled and did nothing for a minute.
I feel like
Anyway.
that's a great like blooper that we put at the start of the video.
I feel very threatened by this giant elephant.
Yeah. But yes, so this Carcharodont, I can speak. This is Acrocanthosaurus.
Do we want to talk about phylogeny first or discovery and distribution?
I feel like
Let's do
discovery, because this thing is very, very interesting, and we have a lot of information about it.
Okay, well in that case, it is quite fortuitous that we still have 2 of these things.
Yeah.
Because both the holotype and paratype of Acrocanthosaurus, so the original specimen that all others are compared to, and a corresponding specimen that has a lot more material, were both found in the same field season. They were found in the Antlers Formation in Oklahoma, I do believe.
Yeah.
which might sound weird to people. A dinosaur coming from Oklahoma, of all places. But there are actually quite a few rock exposures from this period of Earth's history in that state. And there's really nothing else to talk about from Oklahoma.
Except for one thing.
Well, one other large creature that we can mention in a bit.
There are a few creatures we can name that lived with this creature.
I was meaning another large theropod that is no longer a theropod.
Well, debatably.
I'm dumb.
Mostly.
We'll get to that.
Complicated.
Yeah.
Anyway, discovered in Oklahoma, 2 of them together, which rather interesting when that happens in paleontology. Sometimes you just get lucky. I'm not sure if they were found in the same bone bed or just found in the same season.
They are specimen numbers next to each other. I guarantee they were found in the same dig, if not the same day.
Well, not necessarily. Those numbers can just be assigned to what what you find in order. One could have been found 5 feet above the other stratigraphically, or 100 feet down the road. It just happened to be the next thing they found.
Oh, well, they were described at the same time in 1950. But you're right.
Yes, because they were found in the same year, taken to the same institution, and then described together. The more specimens you can describe, the more you should describe.
We don't have a discovery date for them. For a date where they were found in the ground.
Right. It was just 1943, 44, I believe.
I'm getting 1940s.
40s, okay.
In general.
I'm getting, Acrocanthosaurus, unpublished 1947 master thesis by Langston.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe it had a different name.
Acrocanthosaurus.
In the thesis.
Acrocanthus.
Yeah, Acrocanthosaurus.
Acrocanthosaurus, specifically.
Which I think we can all agree Acrocanthosaurus is a better name.
I mean, Acrocanthus is really cool.
Acrocanthus.
It's like a fish.
It does. It sounds like an early shark.
I mean, it'd be a bit of payback with all the cool names being stolen by bugs and fish for dinosaurs. Maybe.
So we're gonna steal a shark's name?
Hey, that does work for a shark-toothed lizard.
Yeah.
That wasn't a segue, that was just a joke. So to talk a bit about the antlers formation itself, this formation is early Cretaceous in age, between about 110 to 120 million years old. And it's a bit of an interesting formation, because there are correlates to it, so very similar rock formations of the same age, all over North America. It's a fairly dry floodplain environment with some scattered ephemeral lakes. One of these equivalent formations is called the Cloverleaf.
Yes.
Which I have a little too much experience with. In fact, right here on my desk, also please forgive the construction noises in the background. I have some petrified wood from the Cloverleaf formation right here.
So by the way,
I just found yesterday.
This will be a joke that no one will get because it's an inside joke from before the episode. You want to guess who else has been discovered at the antlers? 3 species of Hybotus. Maybe.
Perhaps.
I'm not surprised. That's what happens when you're a wastebasket.
One of them's apparently real, which I doubt, but okay.
Well, at any rate, Cloverleaf formation, one I'm very familiar with, also has Acrocanthosaurus. But if we went back in time a decade or two, you could not have said that.
Mm-hmm.
That's because let me just get the year really quick. I believe it was the early 2010s. 2008. In 2008, a partial skeleton of a juvenile Acrocanthosaurus was found about 30 miles north of me right now, in the Cloverleaf. In my time hunting around in the Cloverleaf, I found bits of what could be Acrocanthosaurus teeth, and some other things I can't talk about. But they were definitely here. They were definitely this far north, and not just this far north, they were also in the south, because we have bits of Acrocanthosaurus from Texas. And, let me get my directions right here. Watch my camera be flipped, it'll be funny. To the east. Somehow, we have Acrocanthosaurus material in Maryland, all the way on the east coast.
I thought we also had some from the Carolinas as well.
I believe we have teeth from the Carolinas.
Okay, because I know that's where the Terror of the South epithet comes from, in the North Carolina Museum of Natural History.
I believe so. With North Carolina Museum of Natural History, with the most spectacular specimen of Acrocanthosaurus, named Fran.
Whose skull cannot
Because of course it is.
be studied.
Oh, right, it has pyrite disease, doesn't it?
It has really, really bad pyrite disease.
Which really sucks, because it's a beautiful skull.
Actually,
Dom, would you like to explain really quick what pyrite disease is?
I will.
Know we've brought it up before, but it's been a while.
Because I've worked with pyrite disease, actually. Pyrite disease is an awful, awful thing. So, most of the time when with fossils, we have to deal with rock. We're dealing with rocks. So a lot of the time, actually, a good example, if you've ever seen like the opalescent fossils from Australia, they're very pretty.
Mm-hmm.
That is an example of, well, instead of the normal bone, or not bone, normal rock, opal forms in the... How fossil... I should probably say... let me collect my thoughts.
Well, I'm sure our viewers know how fossils form.
Well, yeah. Bone degrades, rock fills in the hole.
Usually.
Basically.
Asterisk.
Yeah. Sometimes you get weird things. But pyrite disease, though, pyrite fills in some of that, or kind of. From what I understand, from a very basic training from a very, very good preparator, pyrite disease is one of the only issues with rocks that we have to deal with on a monthly, yearly, sometimes even daily basis. As pyrite
It advances that fast?
It can advance fast enough that I've heard stories of you take out a drawer and there's an extra thing has fallen off. You open a drawer, another thing is gone. So when we get to Iguanodon, we'll talk about this more, but some of the Iguanodon stuff from Spain or Portugal, they took it out of the drawer, and either the drawer or the rock itself from the urn, it just crumbles to literally dust. Gone. But
so sorry, really quick, I was about to poke at the skull a bit, but I think this is really closely based off of Fran's skull, actually.
It probably is, yeah.
The lower jaw might be a little too thin towards the end, but other than that, this is a really good representation of Fran.
It might also be a little too straight.
Let me just make some room here. I'll put up a picture of Fran's skull right next to this one so people can see.
You're doing a paleontology!
Doing the paleontology!
Yeah, I know.
Lateral view. 40% transparency.
But yeah, basically pyrite eats away at the rock if it touches oxygen. So a lot of the times with really good specimens, I know the iguanodons over in Portugal or Spain, if where it is, Fran. There's another one that There's another really important fossil that has it. I don't remember, but these
There's been a lot over the course of history.
these have to be kept in boxes that are vacuum sealed. No oxygen can be in it, which means you can't study it, which is really sad for Fran, because Fran's basically a complete skull.
Yeah, I think it is basically a complete skull. There's a good series of vertebrae, there's a lot of the tail. Fran has a lot of the arms preserved, which you might notice they look pretty nasty.
Yeah.
Arms. And by that I mean, well, what do you guys think this thing was doing with these giant meat hooks?
A lot of things.
Probably hooking on meat.
Probably hooking on a lot of meat. But yes, so we talked about the discovery and distribution of Acrocanthosaurus. Would somebody like to talk about its phylogeny? What is this giant lizard?
Well, I would be happy to oblige. Basically, Acrocanthosaurus is part of a family of theropods that's the bipedal 90% or so carnivorous dinosaurs that are within the superfamily Allosauridae, or in more classic terms, it's one of the carnosaurs. And
Yes.
as you go from the Jurassic to the Cretaceous, stuff like Allosaurus kind of gets phased out, and then stuff like Neovenator, Eocarcharia, stuff like that comes into play.
Wait, you say Eocarcharia?
The way you pronounced that
no,
made me feel wrong.
Eocarcharia.
I say Eocarcharia.
Same, Eocarcharia.
Well, tomato. Anyways, stuff like that kind of comes into play. And then we have Acrocanthosaurus, which is, most analyses have it as a very basal member of what we call the Carcharodontosaurids, also known as the shark-tooth lizards. And
Yes.
later on in this, they're typically known for, as you may suggest, razor-sharp knife-like teeth that kind of resemble sharks. And later on in this series, you'll find that we will meet another Carcharodontosaurid, this time a bit more kaiju-sized, but for the time being, yeah.
Three,
For the time being, we have Acrocanthosaurus, which is typically found to be a pretty basal member of the Carcharodontosaurids, somewhere like just over the line of, say, Eocarcharia and Concavenator. It's right outside Carcharodontosaurinae. So it's related to stuff like Giganotosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus, Mapusaurus and Tyranotitan, but not quite there yet. It's like just outside of the tree.
And
so if anyone's curious, so Allosauroids, these are obviously the group that Allosaurus belongs to. I hate you, Parasaur, get out of here. Obviously the group that Allosaurus belongs to. But as you get into more derived forms, like the Carcharodontosaurids, you start to see some major changes to the overall body plan. The spine notably gets higher, the arms shrink, and the head gets bigger and more toothy.
Almost like a certain family of other big theropods.
But
that kind of get this.
Yes.
But it's independently evolving.
But they do something differently, which leads into kind of the main difference between Carcharodontosaurs and the other thing Gojira's referencing, which is Tyrannosaurs. Where Carcharodontosaurs do instead of getting bulky, actually, Tyrannosaurs are weird because Tyrannosaurs get fast, very fast.
Yes.
Carcharodontosaurs don't. They get big.
they seem to really get big. You're right, Tyrannosaurs get fast. For anyone who doesn't know, most Tyrannosaurs are really lightly built.
And
T-Rex is the odd one out. Carcharodontosaurs stay solid.
yeah.
Big.
And there's one more major difference: their teeth. These guys were doing very different things. Tyrannosaurs, if you've ever seen a T-Rex tooth, it's actually very similar to other Tyrannosaur teeth. They're like bananas. They're thick and they're serrated, but they're big. They are used to punch through anything.
And I know there are some good images I can put up here.
Yes.
Comparisons.
Carcharodontosaur teeth are thin as all hell. And they're dually serrated, right? They're serrated on both sides?
Yep.
Yes, they are, though the serrations on the rear are usually bigger.
Yeah. It's actually where they get their names, the shark teeth lizards. These things were cutting off flesh. They were not crushing bone. They were not, like, breaking through muscle. They were tearing chunks out of whatever they were eating or hunting.
These teeth might be a little too thick, but they're not bad.
They're not bad.
Yeah.
So I can say I have seen their teeth in person. Sometimes they can get a little thicker towards the base. It really depends on the tooth. But when people say that T-Rex had butchering knives for teeth, no. T-Rex had railroad spikes.
Yeah.
This thing had butchering knives.
It's the best way to describe it. Aren't the T-Rex teeth I've held one. When people describe it as a banana, it's the perfect way to describe at least what it feels. It feels like you're holding it feels like a T-Rex.
You feel like one of a minion.
Well, no, it feels like a T-Rex tooth. If let's use it as a weapon. Actually, a T-Rex tooth is something that you like beat someone over the head with, and it makes a hole. A Carcharodontosaurus tooth is something that you cut someone open. That's a weird visual, but it's
a knife.
Yeah, it's a knife compared to a sharp hammer.
Like, if you were in like a parallel dimension with like using dinosaur remains as weapons, like in Paraworld, you would probably use Acrocanthosaurus tooth for a knife, or for a T-Rex tooth, something like a mace.
Yeah, exactly. These are very, very interesting creatures. And
they're very weird.
Well, we'd also talk about T-Rex, Acrocanthosaurus, and weird as his own right. As most, if not all other Carcharodontosaurids are not found in America, North America.
So weirdly, most Carcharodontosaurids have a Gondwanan distribution, meaning they're mostly on the southern continents. I don't think we have any from Australia, but I know we have them from Africa,
Europe,
Southern Europe, which
America.
I think was part of Africa at the time.
Yes, it's a part of it. Yep.
And South America.
We don't.
Acrocanthosaurus is the only one from a northern continent.
Do we have any from Asia?
Well, sorry. Some people think. How do you say it? Siach might be a Carcharodontosaurid.
Siach is barely a bone. I don't think we should put it anywhere yet.
Hey, maybe it's Carcharodontosaurus.
Is Siach before
maybe it's
Acro?
Wow, I can talk.
If Siach is before Acro, maybe, but Siach is barely anything. And not to disclose that it's a valid genus, and I'm fully Lindsay Zano, by the way, amazing person. I might have met them once when I was very young. I believe they named Siach, right? It was Lindsay?
I think she was on the team.
Yeah. It was for someone from the Carolina team. They named a bunch of Appalachian-based awful things, because Appalachia doesn't...
Oh, that's not Appalachia, that's Laramidia.
Well, Appalachian
it's
fossils...
in Utah.
Oh, it is? I didn't know CH was Utah. I'm wrong. But otherwise...
Moros.
Oh, you're right. It's Moros. You're right. Never mind. But yeah, CH is a weird thing. It's barely anything. It's definitely a valid genus of a something. But it's odd, and Acro kind of follows a weird thing, as we don't know where it came from. Like, where could it have come from?
Well, I mean, so the big thing is, in the early Cretaceous, we have this massive time gap.
Ghost lineage.
Speaking of someone who's worked with the Morrison and the Cloverleaf Formation, the Morrison being the very tail end of the Jurassic, and the Cloverleaf being about 40-ish 20 to 40 million years later.
Yeah,
There's nothing in between. It's just Morrison, Cloverleaf. There's a big time gap there.
Yeah.
And on one side of the gap, we have Allosaurus, and on the other, we have Acrocanthosaurus, and we just don't know what's in between. I think our earliest Carcharodontosaurid is it still Concavenator?
It's Concavenator. I believe it might be
something from North Africa, right?
Is it Neovenator?
Carcharia?
It might be Neovenator.
Cow 2024 has Neovenator as possibly the earliest.
Yeah, which Neovenator is also weird. Neovenator's England, which is also
right.
Which is weird.
How old is that? Is that 126?
130.
130. Okay. So, yeah, we have smaller Carcharodontosaurids. All of these are smaller. They're more like 20 to 30 feet, I think.
They're also mostly England or Europe-based. Most of the smaller ones from earlier.
Wait, duh. So if Neovenator is a Carcharodontosaurid, that's another one from the northern hemisphere. Or from a northern continent.
But you could argue that Neovenator could have island-topped from Africa. And or if Neovenator is older, the opposite happened, where Neovenator kind of became... Because Neovenator is also the most basal Carcharodontosaurid that a lot of these things are finding. So...
I mean,
Acro's still weird for being not highly derived, but right outside of Carcharodontosaurinae. He's still weird.
Right. It's weird because it's still fairly basal, but it's so huge.
Correct.
Which, to clarify really quick, this thing was almost T-Rex sized. Like, we're talking up to 40 feet long and probably weighing at least 5 or 6 tons. This was a big animal.
Oh, we do have one earlier, possibly.
Oh?
Lusovenator from the Jurassic.
Really?
Yes. Lusovenator is from 154 to 144.
Alright.
And
overlaps it with Allosaurus.
It does.
Luso. Is that Portugal?
Yes, it is.
Yep.
It looks to be literally right outside. It's right inside of Carcharodontosaurinae. Neovenator is still more basal, though. For what we're finding.
I mean, that happens. You get later surviving early members all the time.
Yeah.
There's also, there's one idea that the Tendaguru, Tetanore specimens, the ones that were supposedly Allosaurus, may be Carcharodontosaurids, but there's no way to tell.
That's like...
It's a tibia, right?
Yeah. That's not...
impossible.
So, it's very... Acro is still weird, because even, let's say, all these early Carcharodontosaurids are like Northern Africa, Europe. That is still... Arguably, they could all spread around there, island hopping, storms, whatever. Acro being in North America, it just kind of appears.
And not just North America. It gets fairly northern, too.
Yeah.
like North Wyoming is pretty far north compared to everything else.
We also aren't getting Asian Arkosaurs, so it's not coming from there.
Well, as far as we know.
Correct. Fossil record, blah 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 blah.
Yes.
But
The line.
the other thing that's weird about Acro is, well, one, yeah, as Doc said, it's big. It just appears, and it's an apex carnivore. I'm gonna be moving because I'm gonna let in my dogs while I'm talking, but it's big and it lives in an environment that we know a lot about.
Oh, a sandstorm.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Oh, that actually does look kind of cool.
That looks really cool,
This is
actually.
dramatic. Okay.
God, sorry. Also, I think Venator is appearing in Walking with Dinosaurs with Titan.
In the new one?
I believe.
The new one.
I know Titan is, and they're found in the same spot, I think. So.
In Larinia?
Here, wait, so
Yeah.
it's in Larinia?
Let me double check. Venator.
It is that it also lived with Europaeus, like
Yeah.
Allosaurus europaeus.
And Torvosaurus gurney.
Yeah, it lived in. Yeah, it's part of the Ascentia member of the Larinia Formation. Yep.
Huh.
So we might actually see Venator later this year.
So we got, and Lorinianosaurus. That's another one.
Is it?
Yeah, another theropod from Larinia.
Yeah.
Or is it Loriniasaurus or Lorinianosaurus?
I'm not going
Let
to
me double
correct
check.
you on a language I don't speak.
Lorinianosaurus, maybe?
Oh, I think, Docs, I think it's Lorinianosaurus. Why do I have good lighting in my kitchen?
I don't know.
Anyways.
Yep, Lorinianosaurus. Another big fish.
Enough about the Jurassic, though. There are some more interesting things we can say about Acrocanthosaurus. Particularly, and this will be Dom's section for a very particular reason,
Yeah.
its feet. Dom, would you like to talk about the things it left behind while I drown myself really quick?
There's a very, very famous trackway. Is it called the Paluxy or is it in Paluxy? Or both?
Both.
Okay. There's a very famous trackway in Paluxy, Texas? Texas, yeah.
Also, I can't walk apparently because the game's glitched, but I need to drink, so don't.
T-Poe.
Hi, Mr. Coelacanth. How are you doing today? Yes, very famous trackway. Doc will flash up an image. Of a large theropod and a sauropod of some description. Walking using the same trackway. Now, mind you, this has been interpreted as a hunt, but it could be a sauropod moved through and then a theropod a few days later, or vice versa. But
We don't know.
yeah, it's probably two animals. It's probably Acrocanthosaurus and a sauropod, who if you watch dinosaur documentaries in the early 2000s, you might have been called Paluxysaurus, now known as Sauroposeidon.
Yes, which one of my personal favorite dinosaurs, and there is a picture I know I can show of me and my and a very good friend of mine holding a probably Sauroposeidon vertebra.
No,
It is huge.
and we don't have
It's massive.
we don't have Alamosaurus in this, so I can also talk about this. Sauroposeidon and Acro are kind of weird in the same way. Sauroposeidon doesn't just appear, but they both vanish at around the middle Cretaceous. You know more about this than I do, Doc.
Yes. So, at least with the Cloverleaf and Antlers formations, where both of these dinosaurs are found, they seem to be the last of their kind in North America.
Yes.
Acro for the rest of the Mesozoic, as far as we know. Sauroposeidon, it's the last sauropod until the very end, when we finally get Alamosaurus
Who
in
is-
southern North America.
Who is probably from South America.
Yeah.
So the cause of this disappearance, it's usually just referred to as the
Rumor scat.
it's the sauropod something, right?
Rome.
Romer's Gap, yeah.
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 One of my peers from my cohort did her poster on the Romer's Gap. It was really cool.
The Romer's Gap
Okay.
is very cool, yeah.
But yeah, it's just this weird gap of time where they just completely disappear. We don't know why. We don't know where they go. Maybe they were outcompeted. Maybe they were just living in areas that don't preserve well. There's a lot of environments that just don't preserve fossils very well.
I've heard a theory that the Western Interior Seaway flooded most of what the sauropods liked, and if the sauropods go away, the sauropod hunter goes away.
So that's possible.
It's an old theory, though, and it has very little evidence.
Yeah, we don't know. And they disappear. Arkosaurs continue in southern continents for quite a while after Acrocanthosaurus disappears.
They do eventually disappear, though. I don't think
eventually disappear completely, which is weird.
And then they get replaced by a cooler species.
A different group.
I love raptorants.
Well, a couple different groups.
Yeah.
But anyway, while I float alongside this Acrocanthosaurus, was there anything else to tell about the phylogeny, Gojira? Oh wait, we were moving on to
me.
The trackway. Whoops.
Should we
That's
like should we save Raptor for later?
I would say we save that.
I think so.
I'd say we save that for
Giga?
either Giga or Conk.
Or save it for Kark. It lived with it.
Oh, that's also true. Yeah, you're right. That's better. But yes.
We could do Kark.
I'm trying to think. I'm looking at Jesus Christ.
Ooh. What about like its high spines?
Oh. Eh.
Yeah.
So
there's your answer.
So the most obvious, well, probably the most one of the first things most people notice about Acrocanthosaurus is the really tall ridge running along its back. And if you actually look at the skeleton, you can just see it has weirdly long neural spines. Those are the spikes coming off the back of your vertebrae. All of your vertebrae have them. Most vertebrae have them. We're not 100% sure why Acrocanthosaurus had such a tall spine, but high spines are a characteristic of most Carcharodontosaurids.
But not like this. Most of them, at least from what we've seen.
Not to this extent.
Well, they also tend to be correlated. A lot of high spines are over the hips. We see this in Meraxes, and we see this in Conch. And I think so, and I think kind of in Giga and Mapu.
Well, Giga and Mapusaurus just have a high spine in general. I think so does Tyranotitan.
You might be right about that. But yeah, this is weird. And we don't know why. There's also two theories of what this looked like. There's this theory, which is the more spine theory. And then the theory, which is probably wrong, but I think is funnier. The hump theory.
The hump.
I adore the hump.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's wrong. Like, if there was any dinosaur that would have had a muscular hump, it was probably this one.
That's true.
I mean, I can believe it's a bit of both. Like, maybe not a full-on buffalo hump, but I can definitely believe this thing had Actually, we're pretty sure it had extra muscle attachments up there because we have the vertebrae. We can see that.
Yeah.
This animal had a massively reinforced spine, and we aren't sure why.
I have a guess.
Maybe it was to help it hunt large sauropods? Maybe.
Maybe
it was... we don't know. We don't know.
It could be multiple things. It could be a display thing, like males or females, but reptiles and birds, mostly males. Maybe that, like, goes really bright color, or maybe depending on the size, like, if it's a fat storage thing, how big your hump is how good of a hunter you are.
I mean, maybe, but reptiles tend to store fat more near their tails, right?
That's
Yeah.
true, but it's the base of their tail where Meraxes and Conch have their weird thing. So maybe this is just an extension of that.
Potentially.
Yeah. Animals are weird. But what else?
Well, with that said, I do want to point out just some other weird facets of Acrocanthosaurus's anatomy, because there are a few. We've already talked about the high spine. It's notable that those high spines don't continue into the neck, which you would kind of expect if it was to reinforce the head. The head itself is strange. It has a really thick base to the jaw, and then it narrows out quite a bit. I'm not sure how much... Oh, here comes a Tyrannus, okay. I'm not sure how much work has been done on the, like, how well that could handle stress, but I'd imagine it couldn't handle a ton with that weird arrangement.
Have bite force, at least. It's... For, I don't know. It's...
I can ask...
Ooh, you go first.
I was gonna say...
We might have to run here.
I was gonna say, like,
no.
I could ask Dr. Rayfield, Emily Rayfield, what she says about Acro's bites force, because, like, she was kind of the OG of this kind of studies, so I can see what she says.
That'd be interesting.
It would be.
Whoops.
Actually, let me grab up the paper of this bite force, because, obviously, this was someone by...
I'm gonna take care of these things before they become a problem.
Yeah. Someone did the bite force of, like, a bunch of dinosaurs and other things. Euparkarias in this study?
Really?
Okay, then. But they got, for Acro, the anterior bite force of 8,000 newtons and a posterior bite force of about 17,000 newtons, which I don't remember what T-Rex is off the top of my head. Isn't T-Rex like...
I think it was like
20?
50-something thousand newtons.
Okay, so
57,000 newtons.
So no, this thing doesn't have a strong bite force for its size.
Yeah, comparatively. And to be fair, you don't really need a massively powerful bite force when any bite just shreds.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just need to get flesh off.
And that...
Oh, well, there is one other weird aspect of Acrocanthosaurus' anatomy. So even though it has smaller arms than, say, Allosaurus, at least compared to its size, they are bizarrely robust.
They're also bizarrely stiff, too.
Right, they have a very limited range of motion, don't they?
They can't.
Yeah.
They can't go up. They can't go out very far, but they can go in a lot and have a lot of strength when going in to the body.
Yeah, indicating maybe it actually did use its arms to help it hunt, which could be part of why it has a reinforced spine, but maybe not to that degree. I'm not sure.
It's a weird creature, to say the least. And a
yes, I hope we've gotten that across.
Yeah. Now we could go in game, but there is something else weird about Acro. Well, I say weird, cool. One, we have the brain we have the brain case of Acro.
Yes, we do.
We do. Does the brain case say anything weird?
The brain case says that the brain looks like Carcharodontosaurs. Yeah, but the main thing is we have the inner ear, which tells us a lot of things. It tells us that the head was held at 25 degrees, so its head was held more down than straight forward. So actually, probably
like you can see here, actually.
Yes, that the animal was always kind of looking like this instead of like
kind of have that Kubrick stare.
Kind of, yeah, which is probably most theropods, in my opinion, probably held their heads like that because of how their heads are shaped with binocular vision.
Yeah, makes the most sense. You want to be able
Yeah.
to see well in front of you if you're hunting.
Actually, great. Have you ever seen a theropod from head on? They look stupid because of that reason.
They don't look stupid. They look terrifying. They look like a giant predatory bird.
Have you?
They look,
That depends
look-
on the picture.
they
in
look
my opinion.
stupidly terrifying. Let's say.
I don't know if you've ever
Depends on how they're drawn. I think they look intimidating.
depends.
Like I guess
I
it
know what
depends
those
on.
teeth do.
But may also evidence Carnotaurus from heads on.
Well, Carnotaurus just looks disturbing.
And regarding the brain, it also has really big olfactory bulbs, so it had a really good sense of smell.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm trying to think. What else do we have?
Oh, here I go dying again.
Ooh, sorry, that's a really fun picture. There is some pathology stuff.
Oh,
There's just some weird stuff on some of the vertebrae that they're more hook-shaped than normal. It's barely a mention in here.
I'm not
Right.
sure what that would indicate.
The 11th vertebrae was fractured and healed, while the neural spine of its third tail vertebrae had an unusual hook-like structure. I actually have a picture of it. And it's from Fran, actually, and it's Fran being compared to Stan, which is a funny sentence.
Okay.
Frankenstein.
There's a picture
I
of the.
guess you just sent it in Discord?
Yep, and you can tell
Ooh.
how weirdly shaped it is.
Oh yeah.
So the dark one, I'm guessing, is Fran?
The dark one is Fran, yes.
Okay. Yeah, really, really high spine. I figured that, but yeah, it's got a weird shape to it.
Actually, that is also a pretty good show of how weird Acros. Because I believe that's to scale. Too.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's to scale.
And what vertebrae from Stan are they comparing it to? Because
It's
it
11.
should be that much bigger.
It's 11. They're both
Same?
11. They're both 11. Yeah.
Thoracic or dorsal?
Dorsal. Yeah.
Huh.
T-Rex is big.
Well, I know T-Rex is big, but I didn't expect it to be that big a difference.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Stan's also huge. So
I mean,
Yeah, I guess.
can't compete with Scotty.
that's true. I'm trying to. Oh, the other thing is where this thing lived. Doc has mentioned the cloverleaf and the antlers multiple times, but the clover and the antlers, we have a lot of things from it.
That's true.
Doc's found a lot of them. We have
A few.
multiple sauropods like Astrodon and Sauroposeidon.
Astrodon isn't Astrodon just Maryland, and it's mostly just teeth?
You might be right. You are right. I am wrong.
There was a proposed genus also from the cloverleaf, but from the last thing I heard, that might not be a thing anymore. I don't know. I don't
Okay.
study them.
Well, Astrodon's holotype of it is a tooth. We do have stuff that might be Astrodon. Excuse me. Let me just open up the clover and the antlers and list off literally everything, because these formations are massively studied and have a lot of stuff.
Well, for one particular dinosaur causing a lot of that study
Yes.
that we will get to eventually.
Yeah, we'll offhandedly mention it, while I'll also offhandedly mention Tenontosaurus and its best friend Deinonychus. But you also have
Not wrong.
oh, that's antlers. I need cloverleaf, because cloverleaf we have a lot. Cloverleaf we have things like ankylosaurs like Sauropelta, and I'm not even going to try to say that thing.
Tonkacephalus.
Thank you. We have ceratopsians like Aquilops, very early things. We have Zephyrosaurus, another thing. Ornithopod, I can speak.
Yeah, small ornithopod.
We have other sauropods like Rugocaudala, which I haven't heard of.
Rugocadia. It's potentially dubious from the last I heard of it. Also, I'm just gonna bully this little Carno.
Yeah, possibly, yes. We also have something called Microvenator, which I have heard of from the
Yes,
overall.
a small Oviraptorosaur.
Yeah. But we have a ton of other things. We have a lot of mammals, a lot of crocs, turtles, amphibians. We have
There was a
lot of...
frog that was just described this last year.
Yes, yes. It's a indeterminate frog, a lot of fish. These are very, very important places. And the time period they're at is also very important, as Doc mentioned. The massive gap between the Cloverleaf and the Morrison. If these places didn't exist, we'd have it basically go from the Morrison to what? Horseshoe Canyon?
Yeah.
I mean, for terrestrial...
Yeah, terrestrial.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is really bad. Horseshoe Canyon's what? Is 70, 80?
80-ish?
Yeah. So that'd be like 150 to 80 million years. That is longer than the entirety of the Cenozoic.
Yeah, and as you can guess, the fauna completely changes.
I think and actually we can talk about something that we haven't been able to talk about yet, which is ghost lineages, because Acro has a massive one.
I think we've mentioned them before.
We have? Maybe. But ghost
I know we've mentioned them.
I'll explain them, because Acro has one. Ghost lineages are things where we know something should be there, we just haven't found it. A great example is any theropod from the early Jurassic. Or, sorry, the entirety of the middle Jurassic, excuse me.
I have a better one for you.
Oh?
Pachycephalosaurs.
You're right.
The oldest one we have is 70 million years, but they had to have emerged in like the middle or late Jurassic.
They had to. Which is about 70, 80 million years. And for reference, whales evolve in 50 million years. Whales evolve from little tiny dog to blue whale in 50 million years. About.
Well, little tiny meat-eating sheep, but yeah.
Yeah, but
Little shoes.
so having a ghost lineage that's 70 million years for any creature is horrifying, because that's so much information we just don't have and probably will never get, because the middle Cretaceous fossilize either. Middle Jurassic just doesn't fossilize. What do we? Goodbye, sir.
God.
What middle Jurassic formations do we have? We have some from Germany, right?
England.
England.
The Taton limestone is Middle Jurassic.
Isn't that aquatic though, or am I wrong?
Near shore marine. It's where Megalosaurus is from.
Okay, so that's not bad, not good. I know we have some in Asia, but we have basically none for the entirety of the Western Hemisphere, which is very annoying, because that's where...
Yeah, definitely not an issue at all.
What do you mean? We have nothing for We're so lucky we have Jura Tyrant from England. We're so lucky Jura Tyrant is a thing that we have.
There's also... We have the Rutland Formation.
I haven't heard of that one. I'm dumb. Rutland. That's a
I haven't heard of it either.
Rutland.
Basically, where one of the specimens of Cetiosaurus were found in there.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's middle. Oh, yeah, it is Middle Jurassic. We have Cetiosaurus, and that's it.
Yep. There's also the Hatspin Quarry.
Is that another we found one dinosaur from the Middle Jurassic there?
I can't find any fossils in general from there. It's just
It's bizarre.
Jurassic.
It's so weird. We find a lot of aquatic stuff. A lot of the England stuff is Middle Jurassic for aquatic. I think
There's also
Pleurodon.
the La Boca. There's also the La Boca formation.
La Boca.
Yeah, La Boca from let's see.
The Boca Formation is from Mexico. Oh my god, wait, this is
Yep.
America. Wait, what do you have? We have synapsids?
Yeah. We have a Ceratosauria. We have a Heterodontosaurid.
We have
Not a
something
lot.
that was Dimorphodon at some point.
Oh, wow. You mean like half of pterosaurs?
We also have Megapnosaurus, which is
Dinosaurus? The
Megapnosaurus.
big dead lizard?
Yeah, big dead lizard, which isn't real. And then we have that's it.
Well, it's a real animal.
Yeah, except for here it's not.
Okay.
Here it's a partial 12th vertebra.
I'm pretty sure we have a mass death assemblage.
Not from Laboca, we don't. We have something that was named Megapnosaurus from Laboca.
Oh.
So and Heterodontosaurina and large bone fragments that might be sauropod.
Oh, wow, that's so descriptive.
I love it. It literally says abundance. Large bone fragments.
Okay.
We have nothing from the Middle Jurassic. The other awful ghost lineage is Megaraptoria. I think they're actually worse than Pachy's.
Well, I mean, they're tyrannosauroids, and we at least have...
That's true.
Potentially.
Allegedly,
But Pachy's...
for the time being, they're Tyrannosauroids.
Pachy's are Marginocephalians. Yeah, we have those from the Middle Jurassic. Kind of.
No.
Oh, do we have them from late
Jurassic?
We have late Jurassic, and at that point they've already split. You're right.
Yep. Also, I just remembered, we have a handy-dandy way of measuring these dinos, which I might as well just go ahead and set up.
We forgot, you're right.
Let's see how oversized this thing is.
Yep.
So let's see. We talked about lifestyle, we talked about Paluxy, we talked about distinguishing anatomy. Let's see. Oh, what about paleomedia appearances?
Ooh,
how many do we want to go through?
I can get a lot.
I can just go through like the big hits.
I'm trying to think. Well, there's the main one.
Jurassic Park Operation Genesis.
Oh,
you're right. It was in JPOG.
Yeah, it made awful noises.
One of the best, but it had one of the best
beautiful
colors.
Design, though.
Oh, beautiful.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Inside the Parkera. You can actually have the two coexist in the same enclosure.
They did do that.
That's right.
They have my favorite acro, which everyone hates for no reason, which is the Jurassic Park Evolution acro. I love it to death.
That thing's mid.
Yeah.
That is a Turok T-Rex made out of
All
Play-Doh.
of you hate chubby thing. It is beautiful. If
you just have poor standard creature design.
I am fine with it being chubby.
Ignore its head.
But it does not make for a good crow. The head is wrong. The proportions are not fantastic.
Just ignore its head.
There's a lot of issues.
So
it's Turok T-Rex.
It should be 36 feet long, 36 to 38.
Are you talking about in the game?
No, in real life.
What else? It was also in Monsters Resurrected.
Yeah, where it has one good design and one bad design.
One of the best designs in the show. And
one of the worst designs in the show, because they used two.
Okay, I need to give myself more foundations. I have the slight suspicion that this thing is a little too big.
It's 20 feet. I think it's like 20 feet at the hip, maybe. No, that's a lie. How tall are you, sir?
Wait, like actual Acrocanthosaurus,
No,
it's more like 12 to 13.
no, it's 12. I can't count or read. It's 12. So
Oh, let's see.
This is a kaiju.
a bit.
Yeah. It was also in Dinosaur King, which had one of the best designs in that show.
Yeah, it's so pretty.
Absolutely incredible design.
So pretty and
So
nice.
it has 2 designs in that show, actually.
It has the supercharged version. The supercharged.
Yes,
Yeah.
because of story reasons.
Super Alpha controlled version, and
Which explodes and
it
it's
has a-
gray. It's purple.
it's basically Godzilla.
It's pink.
Pink.
It's hot pink.
It's a better pink Godzilla than Evolved Godzilla.
It also
And I will die.
has an amazing design from Fossil Fighters, which I'm going to send because its design is beautiful and definitely not one of the most awful things I've ever seen.
Give Fossil Fighters credit. They had to distinguish a lot of different dinosaurs.
Yeah, but look at it.
I played the game a lot.
Yeah, but look how cool Beckel's spine axe is.
Yeah.
Look how cool Beckel's spine axe is. You could have done.
It's not great. It
Well,
feels like Erythrosaur Spinosaurus, kind of.
It does.
okay. Well, at any rate, it's hard to get this guy to stand properly because he's so big. Each of these foundations is 3 meters, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, about
12.
11 times 3, 33 meters.
Yeah.
Just the largest carnivorous
3
creature.
times the size.
Like
And then
very exceptional specimen. It was
And then
eating
1,
its
2, 3, 4,
Wait,
5. I think its spine goes up to 6 of those walls.
I need to
which
check.
is 12 meters. It's
So
3 times too big in both dimensions.
So for reference, by the way, Leviathan is at max 20 meters.
This is
yeah.
by
Leviathan is at max 20 meters.
I mean, this thing's the size of a sauropod.
The biggest ones.
yeah.
One of the biggest
It's-
ones were over 100 feet. This one's just 100 feet-ish.
Yeah. God, I wish we were able to talk about Leviathan. I can't wait for Basilosaurus so I can talk about Leviathan. Anyways,
Whales.
Whales, I love whales. Whales are evil.
Whales.
Anyways, in game, I haven't played with Acro. I know it has a shield stance and a attacky stance.
Yes. So it also has
He's
a
running-
weird taming method.
I forgot how to tame it.
So, after you do enough damage to it, the Acro will enter its shield stance, so it'll take less damage. Sometimes, when it's shielding, it will roar, which... Yep, it'll roar at you, which, by the way, we will play the roar right here. And show the animation from Ark Survival Ascended. Absolutely beautiful, best roar in the game.
Its roar is amazing.
It's
Anyway,
really good.
when it roars while shielding, you have to shoot it in the face, and that makes it build up torpor, so it passes out. And then you feed it like any normal Ark creature. All this is just stuff I'm trying to remember on my own. I could be wrong about some of this. It's a complicated process.
Oh, we haven't read the dossier, but I don't mind not, because while reading the dossier...
Is it a good dossier?
Well, I'm looking through it now. Not really. It just says it's larger than Rex and has interesting tactics.
Okay, well, here, let me pick a fight so we can show off the shield stance.
Yeah.
So while shielded, taking 23 damage from this from this Carno. Unshielded, 38%. So that's like a 40-ish% decrease in damage.
We do have
It
control.
does less damage, but it has really good knockback. So good for taking care of groups. It also has an adrenaline meter.
It does have an adrenaline meter. It does do that.
Oh, I scared off the Carno. Whoops.
But is there anything else we'd like to mention about the terror of the South? Oh, but besides, this will be offhandedly, but the burning of the entirety of the South by one Mr. General Sherman probably allowed us to discover this thing.
Oh, wait, we have rage!
There you go, he's glowing!
Yeah, so once enough damage is done, the Acro goes berserk, gets faster, does way more damage.
Wait,
Go after that Dinotherium.
I just realized.
Why are you pooping now?
I just realized it looks like it looks like it got enraged from Monster Hunter. It's doing a Tigrex.
Oh yeah, no, it's doing a Devil Joe.
Yeah. Go play wild. But otherwise, I don't think there's anything else much to mention about Acro, right? Unless you have anything else, anyone?
Nothing I can think of.
No.
Okay, then do we want to rank it?
We shall.
I would be happy to rank it. Who wants to go first?
I will. I'm getting up the tier list. Give me 2 seconds.
Well, you know what? I forget. What's our highest rank called?
X.
X?
For extreme.
Okay. Do we have any dissenters?
Now. Cowardice!
Gojira,
Honestly,
I heard the huff.
He has to be
It's-
angry.
I would not put this in X, but I'll give it my rank when it's my turn.
Doc, go first.
Okay. Other than the size, I think this is a beautiful implementation of Acro. They make it different while also making it a terrifying apex predator, because that's absolutely what it should be. Literally, other than the size, I have no complaints. And even the size is just me being a pedantic nerd. I kinda love how huge it is. Absolutely X. Ha! This is better. I won't say I like it better than Brachiosaurus, but I think it's about as good as Brachiosaurus. Just a little bit less utility.
By the way, I actually wanted to. No, Brachy's already X'd here. I thought Brachy was S because I didn't know if we implemented it at the time. Never mind. Gojira, go.
So, I will say, I do really like this Acrocanthosaurus. I think the design overall is really good. Great animations, fantastic roar, really cool Devil Joe mechanic, as we're seeing here.
Yes.
My one thing, well, 2 things. One, it is a bit too big. Look, a bit. But the second thing, this is just a personal quibble of mine. Oh, kill the Dinotherium. Get revenge.
No, my babies!
Massacre me.
And my other thing is the iguana spikes, like, on the neck and tail. Like, I just am not a huge fan of how they're implemented here. They just seem kind of tacked on. If they took those...
May I defend the iguana spikes?
After
For
I'm
a
done.
creature that already has a massive display feature like the spine, I can absolutely see it having something extra on top, just to make it appear that much bigger as a display feature.
Your health is going down very fast.
But the way it's shown here is just kind of tacked on.
Why
It
are there
feels
so
kind of haphazard.
Because I think I accidentally wandered into a second herd.
And so yes,
Nope.
aside from that, I will say I do really like this Acro. I will not say it is not as good as Brachiosaurus, but it is very good in its own right. So I'll put it in S tier.
Okay. highest S, I'm guessing?
Yeah, like high S, yeah.
Okay.
Doc's right, by the way. This is X. Doc's just correct. Gojira is being a pedantic. The spines are cool. Fuck you.
You.
I think that's our only F-bomb this entire video.
It is. I've been doing better because I've had to been in public more.
Thank you. It helps save me editing.
Yeah, I'm aware it does. But
Killed at your poem.
you landed on it. But yeah, this is just a really good implementation. Yeah. I'm having awful speaking today, as that sentence made no sense. It's just cool. I'm trying to think literally anything to try. It's too big, but it's Ark, so I don't care. I don't really think there's anything. The spines are done in moderation, so it doesn't feel like on Kentro when it has too many, it felt odd and dumb.
Like it's just the tail and on the neck.
Yeah, it looks realistic. I could see it maybe doing that.
Like that's just a reptile thing.
Yeah, Reptile does do that. Hell, we have evidence Diplodocus doing that. But, yeah, X, which does put it in a magical place when I get the thing up.
Yes.
I feel like if it was just the neck ones, I'd be okay with it. The tail ones just kind of feel a little haphazard.
Alright,
So, really quick, I know we have skin impressions for a Concavinator. Do we have any from the back of the neck or tail? I'm curious.
That's where the
We
quill.
could have something like this on
No, we don't.
Concavinator.
We have it from the. I don't know if we do. I don't think we do. And even if we did, we know the formation that Concavinator is from doesn't preserve anything but scales.
Well, yeah, I'm looking for scales or spikes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were looking for maybe quill.
Not seeing anything
Yeah.
yet, but no, I would not be surprised at all if they had it.
Yeah. But yes,
All right.
I forgot we did the
So,
shield
above or below Bracky?
below.
Because I don't think it can dethrone Desmodus.
Below.
Below. Desmodus is sadly the best creature we've done. It's so cool. And there it goes.
Okay. So, we finally got our large theropod. What are we hoping for this time?
Triceratops.
That requires Vanessa. I don't want that. Because I want to record another episode. I want the frog.
Beelzebub?
I want the frog. Give me the frog.
Well, let's see.
And it is.
Oh no.
Okay.
That's spec, to say the least.
That's spec-evo. That's some interesting stuff. I have
Yeah.
never tamed one.
Uh,
I tame one, I just never have.
no, you tame one. The taming method's the same way you do wyverns. You steal the egg.
Yeah. But okay. So,
Lizard.
if you enjoyed this episode of Arkosaurs, folks, please do the YouTube things and like, subscribe, leave a comment. Tell us what you would rate this acro. And hope you're excited for something a bit more flighty next time.
A bit,
Oh!
bit of a rocky start.
Before we go, wait, I never checked something. We didn't check if Acrocanthosaurus is a different scientific name in this. No! Wait, I must go.
Yes, it did.
It does?
Yes, it does.
What is it?
Yep. Acrocanthosaurus aegis.
Oh,
Aegis.
well,
Aegis.
shields. Okay, I thought that'd be more interesting. Bye, everyone!